Hello, everyone, and thank you for attending tonight's webinar. Lori, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Great. So thank you, everyone, for attending tonight's webinar. Tonight's webinar is about building your online profile and leveraging social media practices. Our guest tonight is Miss Lori Ruff. She is titled the LinkedIn Diva for her abilities to use social media in LinkedIn. She's also the Chief Branding Officer for Alpha, so it's quite an honor for her to be our special guest tonight, as well as to count her a member and a leader within our organization. So on behalf of the Alpha Northwest Arkansas chapter and some of our special guests, the Alpha Nashville chapter, Lori has enthusiastically is going to present to us again on building your online profile and leveraging social media best practices. Lori is kind of a fast talker. We are recording this evening, so when we get done in the days and week that follow, we'll make sure that each of our attendees has the opportunity to receive the download. With that, Lori, do you want to go ahead and get us started, ma'am? Lori? It appears we're having slight technical difficulties. Bear with us just a second.
Okay, give me a moment. I'm refreshing my internet connection here because I'm traveling. Okay, can you hear me okay?
We hear you great, Lori.
Great. All right, turn my screen back on. All right then. Okay, if you have any questions tonight, go ahead and chat those, put those into the question box, and David will be moderating the questions a little bit later. And David, if you come across any questions, then feel free to jump in and let me know as well. I'm sure that there's likely to be some questions you may have, particularly as an Alpha leader, that would come up that the attendees would like to know as well. So David's right, I am a fast talker. I'm from New York, and I will try to slow it down a little bit. However, this is being recorded, and alpha.tv is where we'll be hosting this video afterwards, provided that we get a good recording. So cross your fingers. Sometimes it works. Most of the time it works, and sometimes it doesn't. So the focus tonight is about branding yourself as a leader and as a member of Alpha, somebody who's connected with the Alpha community. And really I want to focus on that and help you learn how to take best advantage of your Alpha involvement, whether you're a member, a volunteer, or a chapter leader, or somebody who's volunteering at the national level or at the convention, or whatever it is that you're doing on a special project or anything, and talk about, live your life with your legacy in mind. My dad told me once that we live our whole lives, we only get to die once, so make it good. Make sure that when you go and it's your time, that your family and your friends and the community that you've lived in feel your presence missing. So that's why the hashtag Sweet Branding. I've really been focusing my own personal research on branding for corporate executives over the last few years, and working with a lot in their personal branding and how to represent themselves online. So I hope that if you are not there yet, that that's a place you want to be. No matter where you want to be in your career, think about the future, because it's time to start building it now. As Harvey Mackay said, dig your well before you're thirsty. You will not be disappointed. So brand yourself today as the executive you want to be tomorrow. My Twitter handle is @LoriRuff. I also tweet under the handle LinkedIn Diva. LinkedIn Diva will retweet you. LinkedIn Diva will give you great advice. LinkedIn Diva will not frequently engage with you, honestly, because I've just got too much to do. And I'm taking care of Alpha, and I'm taking care of the people I love and care about. So people who want business advice and LinkedIn advice and personal branding advice, that kind of stuff, go watch the LinkedIn Diva Twitter handle, and you'll know that the clout score, the credibility of the LinkedIn Diva is about 50 to 55 at any given time. Not bad. It's really actually pretty good. But Lori Ruff, who is the whole person, what you see is what you get. If you're going to be offended by something I say, don't watch my handle. Don't follow me. That's okay. If you are invested in following people who are authentic and truly human being, go ahead and follow @Lori Ruff, and you'll find that my credibility, my clout score with @Lori Ruff is at 79, and it would be larger if I had a Wikipedia page about me, but nobody's seen fit to write one yet. So, that's kind of, I'm bringing that up to show you the dichotomy between those of you who believe that to keep a strong personal brand, you've got to keep it professional. I'm here to argue with you about that today and tell you, no, you do not. In fact, people don't want to do business with robots and brands. They want to do business with people. So keep it real. Be yourself. Show yourself to be vulnerable. It is when I go to corporate partners and share stories and we find out what it is we have in common. Had an amazing meeting this afternoon with Jeffrey, and learned that he's got, what's the joy of your life? And he's got 2 twin grandsons. And I turned around and looked at the picture that he showed me. He actually gave me the honor of letting me sit at his desk. And I said, that picture touched me when I walked in, because I've got a photo of my dad, who's gone now, who passed October 2nd of 2012. And I've got a picture of him holding my daughter and my niece on his lap, reading to them when they were very small children. And that is my favorite picture of my dad. I cry every time I see it, even before he passed, because it was so strong. That's what his life was all about. So be yourself, and you will be rewarded for that. There are a lot of people in the world, and the mission of LinkedIn is to connect the world's professional, to make them more productive and successful. And I'm one of those people. I like to please people. I like to make people happy. It hurts me when I have to disappoint people. And, I just started realizing that there are how many hundreds of millions of people on LinkedIn. I'm not going to please them all. So I might as well be who I am and please the ones that I would please naturally. And the people who don't like me or don't want to like me, or I rub them the wrong way or whatever, they're not going to want to do business with me anyway. And that's going to make my life easier and theirs. So think about it, guys. On LinkedIn is the place to be. People go there to sell, to market, and to hire. And on the opposite side of that coin, you'll see these 3 little LinkedIn coins on the screen. They also go there to buy, to research products and services and find out what's available for them to solve the problems that they have and overcome those challenges. They go there to learn and be educated and be marketed to about what companies have to offer, and to find employment and to be hired. So I'm not only out there actively selling and marketing and hiring, but I'm out there buying and educating myself and being hired. And in fact, it all boils down to, I'm here at Alpha today because of LinkedIn. Charlie Garcia, your CEO, reached out to me originally because I had done some articles on LinkedIn about the top 10 most connected women. That's where I got the claim to fame as the LinkedIn Diva. Somebody called gave me that moniker, and I wanted to know that I could prove it. In fact, it's actually my partner who wanted to know if I could prove it, and found out I was the 9th most connected woman in the world. And I thought, that's brilliant, but if nobody knows about it, what good does that do me? So I started doing some posts about every 6 months about who the top 10 women are and about why it shifted, and giving some thought about that. And that's how Charlie found me. He wanted to, Huffington Post was going to be doing a article on him, and they wanted it to be about more than him, and he was the most connected Latino on LinkedIn, in the top 50 as I was, and he wanted to know how I found the top 10 women and how he could find the top 10 Latinos, and that's where it all started. You never know what a relationship will lead to, what somebody knocking on your door today will lead to. Now, if I had answered my phone and said, you want something free from me, I don't have time of day for you, I never would have gotten to know Charlie Garcia, and I never would have been here today. But by offering value to people who asked it, no matter what they did in return, but constantly being out there doing that and acting in that manner is what's brought me the greatest success and the biggest opportunities of my life and made me who I am today. So think about LinkedIn's economic graph. As you go out onto LinkedIn, you are not on LinkedIn to get a job. That is not what it's about. You are out there to network, to be involved in the economy. People are there to hire and to be hired, to find companies, to build companies, to sell, to be sold to build resources, to all kinds of opportunities, and even to publish and to learn and write articles and to engage and to network. LinkedIn was created to be a networking platform. That's its highest and truest service and purpose. People who created LinkedIn wanted to network together. And that's how I got involved in LinkedIn. Somebody I knew invited me to join LinkedIn. And that's probably how you got involved in LinkedIn too, although with the economy the way everything happened, a lot more people on LinkedIn, because it became a great place to find a job, because recruiters were out there, because they saw the great people that were out there. I mean, you know, it's a chicken and the egg thing and the cycle of life that we're talking about, but that's how it all came to be. And so it is a place where you as a busy volunteer can go and network 5 minutes a day. And if you look at my LinkedIn profile, at the top of my profile, you'll see articles that I've written. And one of the recent ones was using LinkedIn in 5 minutes a day and making an impact in your networking space. Don't stop networking in person, but use LinkedIn to enhance what you're doing. So let's talk about how you build a personal brand. You want to be a lifelong leader. Lifelong learners are lifelong leaders if they put their learning to use. If you're a lifelong learner and you don't do anything with that knowledge but sit at home or talk to your friends or watch TV or just do what you're doing, then what's the point? It's wasted effort. It's wasted potential. In fact, if you look at the economic realities of today, when you look at what the UN is doing in their studies of the Human Development Index and the where people are, where countries are, the United States is right at the top of that index. But in fact, when they adjust it for our potential and what we're actually doing, we could move up 23 spaces on that index. Now, interestingly enough, we're only at number 5. So we can't move up 23 spaces, but we could move up 23 places if we rose to our full potential. So it's really a lot about being a leader, living your life out long, and out educating and out performing and constantly being curious. I think people lose that childlike sense of asking the question why. And when people ask you what your why is, when they say, why are you doing this? Why are you involved in Alpha? Well, if you can't answer that question, you need to take a few days and you need to pull your head out of everything that you're doing and ask your question why. Because if you don't know, you won't be able to answer for yourself at the end of the day. And if you can't answer that honestly for yourself, you are lying to yourself about why you're doing this. What value are you looking for? And I'm going to tell you that if the center of your world is not you, you are not the center of anybody else's world. And if you are not taking care of yourself, and if you are not developing yourself and improving yourself, then People are going to look at you and the hard work you do, and they're going to see nothing there. They're going to see nothing, and they're going to say, it was great that David did that. It was great that this person, who was involved in Alpha and did all those things, and they got burnt out and they didn't get anything from it. I've got a family to raise. I've got a job to do. I've got these things. I can't afford to take that time to do that. You are costing yourself and your organization precious resources by not investing in yourself and improving yourself in the short and long run. So what is it that you are doing? Why are you doing this? What do you want to get out of it? And how are you going to develop as a personal and as a professional person, as a individual? What is it? What's in it for you to be part of Alpha and to do the things that you're doing? What's in it for you to be employed with your employer, to be involved in your community? Anything that you do, what is it? Because if you can't find value, you're not going to show other people that they can find value too. Now let's talk about your supporters. I'm going to guess that everybody's got a mom. I hope every one of you has a mom, or at least at some point in your life had a mom. And let's think about mom being our supporter. My mom was a great supporter, and she told people that I spoke for a living. And people would say to her, yeah, my daughter speaks too, and my son speaks too, and they speak at this or they speak at that. And, where does your daughter speak? Well, she speaks internationally, and she earns a living from it. That's a little bit of a different statement now, isn't it? You just gave them a little bit more information, because there are a lot of people that are speakers that go out and speak and educate, and there are not a lot of people that make a living doing it. So educating your supporters, thinking about who are those people who are going to not only support you, but be honest with you about who you are and what you're all about. How, once you know your why, do you speak to them and turn them into amplifiers? So how do you speak to your colleagues and to your fellow members and your fellow leaders about who you are and what's important to you and what you want out of life? And how do you get them to help you amplify it and talk about who you are and what you want? Especially in the Latino community, but everywhere, people are told, and they have been for a long time, put your head down and work hard and you'll be rewarded. The problem is, if you don't tell people what that reward is for you, what that reward of value would be for you, how are they supposed to know? How are they supposed to reward you in a way that you find to be of value? If you and somebody else and somebody next to them, all three of you are putting your head down and working hard, and all three of you are rewarded with the same thing, it might mean much more to one person than it means to the other two, because maybe the other two, maybe you get a gold watch. Well, what do I need with a gold watch? I don't care about what time it is. I'm retired now. What about a promotion? What about, a trip? What about being recognized for the work that you do? What about being asked to take part in professional development programs? What are those things that you want to do? If you don't educate your supporters, they will not know how to best support you. And that kind of leads to the next piece, which is influencers. When you think about who you are, what you want, why you want it, who your supporters are, and educating them about what you want, think about, what is it you want? What does that career look like? What does your life look like 5 years from now? And how do you get from where you are now to where you want to be? Well, start thinking about the people that are going to help you get there, and the organizations and the places and the things that you need to do in order to get there. And who are the people that can help you along the way? Again, going to supporters and to influencers. Maybe Alpha is a vehicle that will take you to where you want to go, but how do you start being active in Alpha in a way that brings you recognition and elevates people's awareness of who you are and of your value? So we just brought on a recent hire on the staff who's a volunteer. Her name is Alicia, and she's the volunteer creative project manager. She raised her hand when the call went out for somebody to help us with managing all the different creative projects and the marketing things that are happening and the convention things that are happening, and somebody, please help us keep track of all this stuff. And the reason she told me she wanted to apply for that position was because she was in her career now, but she knows that it's not a stable industry, and she wants to shift industries, and she wants to do more with her life. and she wants to learn new skills, and she wants to find out what skills do I have now are transferable to other kinds of industries. How do I develop myself? And that's why she wanted to take this job. So she came to Alpha as an influencer and somebody or an organization that could help her get to where she wanted to grow. And now how does she amplify her influence and gain influential clarity? So through the things that we're doing together and the projects that we're doing, she's gaining that clarity by finding out what are her transferable skills and where does she have really special talents that when people are recommending her or she's sitting down for an interview, these are the things she can tell people about that she made a difference in. Also think about the influencers that are influencing the audience that you want to reach. For example, right now we know that a Latina leader of character is Shakira. Right now she cares about early childhood education and development, and she's pregnant and she's working with UNICEF to have a worldwide baby shower. Here's a woman who is living what she talks about and what she believes. So we have curated a collection in our library. We've curated a collection of quotes that she has made about early childhood development, and especially in Latin countries, and especially in America and Central America and all these areas, and put these in a easily shareable format. So when people click that button to share that quote, it comes out automatically that it's by @Shakira and it's #Alpha, and many of them also say #leadership. So a lot of Shakira's followers are starting to recognize that there's this organization out there called Alpha that's promoting Shakira and promoting her as an influential leader. We have curated quotes of Charlie Garcia, our CEO, and people who follow him could be following you too if you talk about the things that he says. Now, what happens now if Shakira mentions Alpha, or if Charlie mentions you and thanks you for sharing his quote? Well, his followers then start to recognize who you are on a much broader scale. And if you start having conversations with the people who are influencers in public on social media, then their followers really come to see you as their peer. And that's how that influence model builds and amplifies your brand and helps you get to where you want to go. And that clarity that you then gain becomes a feedback loop, helping you further refine your strategy of how you're going to get to where you are now to where you want to be. You start with the facts of your story, right? And you've all seen Charlie Brown, and the facts of Charlie Brown sound like the teacher on Charlie Brown. You know, wah, 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 and you start to sound like you're giving somebody a sales pitch. And you start to say, you know, I'm just regurgitating my resume on my LinkedIn profile. Why do that? People can see your resume. Send it to them if they ask for it. Use your LinkedIn profile to tell the story of who you are. You need the facts, but you've got to downplay them a little bit and turn them into a story. This is who I am. This is what I'm about. This is what's important to me. This is what I'm trying to accomplish in my life, or this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. This is why I'm involved with Alpha and why I work with the Women of Alpha program. I really believe in this program. I met with Alejandro today in Nashville, and he told me this afternoon that at convention last year, the Latina Vita program information session at the Women of Alpha Day was the most impactful session that he attended, and it made him want to really invest his time in the Women of Alpha program because he found personal value from it, and he wanted to help empower women as well. And so here is a professional who's young in his career that was touched by the story and is making it his own as well. And when you make that emotional connection with people, that's what really gives them inspiration. And inspiration is great, and motivational speakers are lovely. But if you want somebody to take action, you've got to give them a call to action. You've got to talk about what you're doing at Alpha and talk about it in a way that is important to the people that you're talking to, and then give them a call to action. Come to our convention, come to our event, like our Facebook page. Give them something to do when they feel that moment of inspiration so that they feel fulfilled. That call to action results in an outcome that then results in you being allowed to live your passion, which is exactly what I'm doing and modeling for you. So this is what it takes to build a great LinkedIn profile. And isn't it interesting that I haven't even yet showed you anything about LinkedIn itself? We have not yet looked at the platform, but now you know how to build your LinkedIn profile. Your headline should be that storyline, that title of the book or the title of the newspaper article that attracts somebody to you. Who are you? What do you do? Who do you do it for? Where do you do it? Why do you do it? What is your involvement? What is it that, why should I come to your profile and read your story in that 2,000 character summary that you have that's written in first person conversational tone? Because my friends, LinkedIn is a networking environment. It is not a job seeking platform. People use it to find jobs and they use it to find employees and recruits, but they are networking to make that happen. Develop the mission statement of Alpha is to empower and develop Latino men and women as leaders of character for the nation in every sector of the global economy. That is why we use hashtag Alpha. Last year when I first came on board in June, people said, what's the hashtag strategy for the convention? Hashtag Alpha 14? And I said, no, it's just hashtag Alpha. Now I'm going to share this with you because it's relevant to you as an individual and to your chapter. We use hashtag Alpha because we want to raise awareness as a group, not just Rutgers Network, not just Northwest Arkansas, not just Alpha Phoenix, if we have one there, Alpha, whatever the chapter or the student organization or the event is. Why would we want to just gain attention for a student symposium or for a chapter event or for the annual convention with 3,000 attendees when we can elevate the power of Alpha and elevate awareness of Alpha as an organization of value for America? And I paused there on purpose because I want to ask you that again. Why not just use hashtag Alpha to elevate awareness about Alpha and the value of the program so that we attract more and better corporate partners and opportunities with them, more and better members and opportunities that they bring and help that they bring to enhance our local communities as they take advantage of their involvement with Alpha? Why not, instead of just taking a student chapter that just has their own hashtag and allows them to network in their own space, or why just have one LinkedIn group for each chapter when we can gather together and find power in our numbers and strengthen our numbers, and we can talk together on the LinkedIn group. We can go to the LinkedIn group at joinalpha.org and join and engage with people from across the country and find opportunities. Now, I know that, for example, the gentleman that I spoke with this afternoon at Nissan was in Canton, Mississippi, and he came to back to Nashville to come home, to be home as he neared retirement. And so there are people that are constantly moving around the country. How much stronger will it be for you if you're a student and you already gain relationships with professionals in the workforce across the country, so no matter where you go, you are still connected with and feel that familial relationship with other people at Alpha? How powerful if you want to move from one area to another and you do so already having a sense of who the people in that area are, already having an awareness of who they are. That's one reason, the biggest reason for having the one LinkedIn group with subgroups that have special interests, like for students. The student subgroup is there now, and the Women of Alpha subgroup is there now. And we'll unveil other groups as we continue to develop in time. So I want to encourage you to invest in yourself so that you will be worth more to others. And the books and the quotes that I talked to you about are at alphalibrary.org. These are books. I actually have printed books for hashtag privacy tweet and hashtag entry level tweet. And there's Lori Ruff on sweet branding. There's Charlie Garcia on authentic leadership. We did interviews with some of the top women of Alpha on Thought Leader Life, and from that interview series on Google Plus and is now on our YouTube channel, we pulled quotes from that about leadership, and we now have a book in the library, the Women of Alpha on Thought Leadership, Candid Conversations with Top Latina Leaders. And there are some other books in there as well that are relevant to our community, and so that's where you can find them. When you go there, you can look around a little bit. It'll ask you if you want to share to join and make an account, but that's just so that you can actually attach your Twitter account, your Facebook account, or whatever, and be able to share those posts easily. And they're aha moments and hopefully investable for everybody. So that is what I really, really want to get to you today. Invest in yourself so you'll be worth more to others. Now I'm going to go live to LinkedIn and show you a little bit about the LinkedIn environment and talk about how you can take advantage of the LinkedIn space. But before I do that, I want to see if there are any questions. David, do we have any questions so far?
None at this time, Lori. Let's just give them a couple of minutes in case anybody wants to send any feedback.
All right, then. Do you have any questions, David?
No, I think what it comes down to, Lori, is the way we would understand it is if we want people to connect with us, we need to provide value to them, and the only true value is our authenticity, that it's who we are.
Exactly. Exactly. It's who we are. And, you know, I've lost count of the number of conversations where people have told me that they've grown their business through trusted relationships and trusted referrals. One gentleman is a financial planner, and he's now in 5 states, a dear friend of mine in Lynchburg, Virginia. I'm sorry, it's not the Lynchburg, Virginia friend. It's the friend in Denver, Colorado. He did my insurance, my Keyman insurance for me. He's now in 5 states, in Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico, because people that used him moved, or they had relatives or business associates in other states, and they made those trusted referrals. He got his license in those states and was able to take care of other people as well and expand his job. And now he's got an office with staff and stuff that grow in Denver, and he's on the road about a week out of every month, and loving it. So this is our LinkedIn group, Alpha, the official group of Alpha group of LinkedIn, and this empowering Latino leaders. So you see here I've got a manager's choice discussion that's a little bit overdue. I need to go ahead and take that out of there, but that's okay. You see top contributors in the group. We are looking for people who are contributing in the group. Once a month, we are giving away a membership, an annual membership to Alpha. So your gold membership will be renewed, or if you're not a gold member and above, then you will get a gold member level membership by contributing here in the Alpha group. And it's just as simple as doing this. Come into LinkedIn every day. And look on your home page. The people that you're connected to will be leaving status updates, and you'll see them on your home page. And you go down and scroll and like and comment on just a few of them throughout the day. You set your clock for 5 minutes. Set your clock for 5 minutes. That is the most important advice I can give you, because if you think you're going to sit down for 5 minutes and you come up for air 30 minutes later, and now you're out of time and you're late, or you didn't have that much time to spend, it's really going to hurt you, and you're going to say, wow, I can't do that anymore. I want you to make this doable, and in 5 minutes, let me show you what you can do. So I'm going to log into LinkedIn during the day, and I'm going to go to my home page. I'll just open this up in a new tab. And on my home page, I can share an update, I can do different things. Here's ways to keep in touch, that's always fun. Here's a Richard Branson. If you hear about a meme, M-E-M-E, a meme, It's a quote with a photo, and a lot of times you'll see the quote with the photo with a photo of somebody or a photo of something different. So when I like this, when Diana looks at this, she's going to see that Lori Ruff liked this post. That's great. She's going to see my name. However, if I comment on it, I love these quotes from Richard Branson. Thanks for sharing. And I'll even give her a little smiley face to encourage her to do this more. Watch what happens. Now look at the difference between a like that says Lori Ruff liked this post, which you can't see because I'm on it, but everybody else will see Lori Ruff liked this post. But look what happens when you leave a comment. Lori Ruff, the name, it goes to my profile and my picture. People get to see me. They know I showed up. I was here. So here's some other quotes, and I just kind of scroll down. There's a like that's kind of funny. Sean Cassidy, Mashable alerts. Yep, that story's about to go viral. I know about that. Lovely. So I like that one. Microsoft shared some stuff. I'm following a lot of company pages. So Positive Minds, Positive Vibes, Positive Life, and I'll comment on hers. Hard not to be positive with a reminder like this. Thanks. I just
I'm going to add, I think when it's one thing to do a like, and we all like on LinkedIn, or we like on our Facebook, or we do a retweet. I think the value contribution is when we make a comment and we share our perspective.
Exactly.
And then that person in turn is going to want to reach out to us, is going to want to view our profile, and is then going to want to connect with us because they found something of value in your message.
Right. And remember that on your homepage, these are people that you're already connected to. These are people you already said you'd like to get to know better. So why not take a couple of minutes every day and look at this? Successful people are always looking for opportunities to help others, always asking what's in it for me. See, and I sort of agree with that, but you know what? You've got to know what's in it for you, because if you don't show that you have improved your life, other people won't think it's worth investing theirs in. So that's what I want you to do, just a minute or so on your home page and scroll down. And then look at this. The group is exactly the same way. Here we are in the group, and Eric, 6 steps to building a killer LinkedIn profile, which I actually saw this one and contributed something to it. Love these simple steps. The LinkedIn Diva. Now I'm going to sign that with my pseudonym so that people know, you know, if I say so, well, she's the LinkedIn Diva, that must be so. Now, wait a minute. Here's Lori talking about commenting on 6 steps to building a killer LinkedIn profile infographic on fastcompany.com. What's in it for me? Absolutely nothing, except that you're going to know that I call myself the LinkedIn Diva, and I've got to have an opportunity to prove it. And if you go look at my profile, you'll see that I can prove it. And if she says it's good, it must be good. And there's not a thing in it for me for you to read the Fast Company article. So behavioral job interviews, I'm not ready to talk about that tonight. You won't find it on the balance sheet. Calculating the market value of leadership. You'll find it at Alpha. So just scroll down and a few of these. Now look what happens when the articles here are engaging and people like and comment. People come into the group. It's important for you to come in here and like and comment on things, because people who've never known us before are brand new to Alpha, come into this group and they look and they see, wow, this is a very engaged group. These people really are providing value to each other. These must be important discussions, because people are commenting on it. And so you help the value of alpha by liking and commenting on things in the group. So then I want to show you right here on the right-hand side, on the bottom of the sidebar, is the Students of Alpha, which in just a few days has 23 members, and the Women of Alpha. And so I can click on either one of those. And if you're not a member of one of those groups, because you're a member of the primary group, you can automatically join this one too. If you're not a member, it'll ask you to join up here. And here are other things, Latinas and Latinos that give back through philanthropic means, 6 proven strategies that move the needle on gender equality. Right? So I've said today's glass ceiling is self-installed. We must all speak up for what we want, and it's therefore incumbent upon us to ask for ourselves. So
I have a question from one of our attendees about
great.
you said the 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Is the 5 minutes in a particular group, or is it just 5 minutes on LinkedIn a day?
5 minutes on LinkedIn each morning. Now, if you're in sales or business development or marketing, you're trying to enhance your profile or gain attention, you could do 5 minutes 3 times a day. That's what I try to do. I can't always do it. Today I was traveling, and so I did it while I was in the shuttle bus on the way from the airport to the hotel. And so I just did it then, and I haven't done it. Well, I'm doing it right now, live on the screen. So, but it does make it very easy to do that kind of networking and that kind of activity. So you see people in the group, and you can see who these people are, and by contributing and being active, I can find out, who are these people? What are they saying? What are they talking about? And there's Daniel Yip out of Miami. So you're going to do that on your homepage, on a couple of your groups each day. You can belong to 50 groups on LinkedIn, but you probably have a few. So what I do is I have marketing groups, I have advertising groups, I have executive groups, I have different kinds of groups across the board. And what I'll do is each day I pick a type of group rather than any kind of random group. So I'm always marketing on the marketing questions, and I might even refer people to a different group that I just saw something in that will bring value to this one. So it's just regular networking, and especially for moms that are really super busy, or for dads who are, if you're a first-time dad and you're trying to network, it doesn't usually happen, and that's where your career starts to stall. It's not till past that first year or that second year that dads really start to kick it back up into gear. But with doing it this way, you're not going to lose the traction you once did. Now here on the LinkedIn company page, you're seeing this share and update because I'm logged in as myself. But typically you'll see the followers you can follow. It says Alpha Empowering Latino Leaders. And here's join and engage with us on LinkedIn at joinalpha.org. You can see the mission and information about Alpha. And I will have a new post to put up in the morning. Charlie got an article coming out on Forbes on CNN Money tomorrow, so you can see what kind of engagement, interactions, and clicks and things are happening here because I'm logged in as myself. But when you log in, you're going to see these, and you'll be able to click and like and comment. Now, if I like and comment on the page, because I'm the page administrator, it's going to show up as Alpha saying these things. So I have to remember where I am and what voice I'm using. Here are featured groups, and we can show 3 of them. So I've got Women of Alpha, Alpha, and then I'll add the student group there as well. And then, so just kind of click and like on a couple of those. Now, instead of coming to the company page, you can actually share an update. I don't have that here. I can like, comment, or pin to the top because, again, I'm the administrator, but you would see like, comment, and share. And you can share these updates to your personal updates on LinkedIn. So if you're not sure what to share on LinkedIn, come to the LinkedIn company page, linkedin.com/company/alpha, and network here. And of course, you can go right to companies as well. And if you're following different companies or there's a reason for you to, you'll see the like and share and comment on here, just like you do on your home page and on in the groups. So that is the kind of a tour about the 5 minutes a day. And that took me about 7 minutes to explain, but hopefully you'll get the gist. Set that clock until you know what 5 minutes feels like, and then do that every day religiously for a couple of months and see what happens, what kinds of opportunities are showing up. Now, when you log into LinkedIn and you go to your page, it's going to bring you to the place where you can edit your page now. But here's what my LinkedIn profile looks like to the public. And I'm the Chief Brand Evangelist of alpha.org. I use a copy paste to put a star there, so it's a little bit more engaging and attractive. This is what shows up in a search result. I say I'm a LinkedIn and social media authority, and I advocate for transformative professional change. And here's where I say I'm located. Not quite there, a little bit outside of DC, but people know where it is. I'm in nonprofit management, and I'm currently employed here. And then you can send people a message, recommend them, block them if they're bad news. This is where you block a report, and also where you have your contact info. So I can put my contact info in here, and this is where people can find me. Here's that post, Getting Business on LinkedIn, the 5-minute showing up routine. And that's the post that I was just telling you about. Now, your summary, remember the story. Your summary is not your summary of your resume or your position. It's who you are and what you're about. So make it first-person conversational. If the perfect person you'd want to meet right now or in the next 30 days were sitting in front of you right now, what would you say to them? By the way, you get a chance to think it through. You get a chance to spell check it, grammar check it, make sure your commas are in the right place, and you get to say it right every time. So mine starts out with, I believe strongly in the magic of humanity and in using tools and technology to help people connect, nurture relationships, and grow together. As Chief Branding Officer of Alpha, I support the mission to develop world-class leaders of character for the nation. And then I talk about Alpha. Now, I'm talking about Alpha very quickly at the front because people know me as the LinkedIn Diva, the social media guru, the top 10 women on not just on LinkedIn, but one of the top 10 most powerful women in the world on social media. And so when people come to my profile and they read my summary, I want them to see what I'm doing with Alpha first. If I put it further down in my summary, people might not miss it because they've read the top already. So that's why I went in and changed it up. But I can add articles and videos and all kinds of things here on my profile for multimedia stuff. I have skills and expertise, and here's my position with Alpha. Now you've got a choice. If you're a volunteer leader with Alpha, you can put this in your experience so that you can connect to the company page and people can find you more easily, and you can be recommended for your experience. Or you can put this in as a volunteer position, and on the volunteer position, that's fine too. You can connect, but you can't get recommendations on volunteer positions right now. So here's the Thought Leader Life with Ileana Musa and Suri Surinder. Here's one with Paula Garcia, and then I have other experience as well. Now I want to show you one more thing that is really important. There's my brand advocacy and training experience and things like that. Education, publications, things I've written, certifications, good Lord. Volunteer experiences and causes, so this is what volunteer experiences and causes look like. And then as we get down, organizations I support, there's my education. Good. Yep, there's a lot of stuff. Now remember, I've been on LinkedIn since July of 2005, so I've been here quite a while. Honors and awards, top 50 industry influencers, all kinds of stuff.
Lori, we have another question. When we go into like, comment, or post articles, do we grow our exposure better through posting to a group in LinkedIn or posting at our homepage? What do you recommend? And what's the difference?
I recommend yes, do both. Because when you post a status update on your LinkedIn profile from your homepage, your network connections, the people you are directly connected to will see it. And if, for example, I like, say, David, that you posted something on LinkedIn on your personal profile from your homepage, and I saw your status update and liked it and commented on it, my network would also see you. So the connections of your connections will see you as well. Now, by doing it in the groups, there are people you're not connected to and you'll never be connected to. It's kind of like going to a mini conference, like going to an alpha event. You get to network and engage with other people interested in that same professional topic or personal topic. I'm a member of the Mustang Enthusiast group because, you know, I just am. I just am. My first car was a 67 Fastback, and I love that bad little girl, and she came with a toolbox, and I needed it. But here in interests, I'm going to go on with showing you a few more things on profiles.
We've got a follow-up question on that, Lori. It makes sense maybe on a group also because if I only have 500 connections, but a group has 18,000 members, like the Alpha group page, I can actually broaden my message, right?
Exactly. But you want to do both. So that's why about a minute on your homepage and post share an update that you like from the company page or somebody else's company page. Now, one thing I would say is if you are if I wanted to get exposure for your update, rather than resharing your update, I would comment on your update with a thoughtful conversation, because then I'm adding to the conversation that you started, as opposed to me resharing your update that then starts a new conversation with my network. And hopefully you understand, you know, you'll kind of get what that means as you get involved in the platform.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So just a few more details here on your profile. Interests, you notice that this is a professional profile, but these are personal interests because I am a whole person. And some of the things I've had people search for their favorite musician or music or travel or different things like that, and have found my profile. So it's a way to connect with other people on a personal level. Here's advice for contacting Lori, and then there's recommendations. Now this is really cool that people have recommended Lori, and you can find out all about Lori and why people recommend her, and that's just go over here instead of received, show given, and you'll see the recommendations that this person is given. Always enjoy Dan's writing, and I'm honored when I get the chance to work with him. So I enjoy writing. I enjoy reading. If I enjoy somebody's writing, you can bet that I probably enjoy reading. Shavana knows what it takes to be successful. Work hard and raise your hand. Not only did she raise her hand for a critical volunteer-led project, she stepped up to claim one of the most critical roles. Her effort was outstanding, and her results and the way she inspired the rest of the team to excellence in their work was critical to our overall success. Now, what does that tell you about me and about what's important to me? If I go to look at somebody's recommendations that they wrote for somebody else, and they talk about attention to detail being very important to them and those kinds of things, I might say hello, but I'm going to have them talk to my program manager rather than to me, because I don't get along with details all that well. I have to learn how to work with them and love them and treat them well, but they are not my forte, if you know what I mean. So in looking at those, you'll see what's important to the person that you're about to talk to, and that will show you how to approach that person in a way that's going to be more meaningful to them, that will spark that emotional tie in your story. Now here at the bottom of the profile is groups, and you can see other groups that people are involved in, and you can click on the group to find out about it, or click on join right here from their profile, as well as companies and schools and things like that. So that is the LinkedIn profile, and typically I don't always show you my own, but I know that you know who I am, and I want you to see what I've done differently with Alpha, as well as looking at, from our company page, looking at Charlie Garcia's LinkedIn profile and see how he describes Alpha. And there's one more I want you to look at. Kevin Cifuentes and I had some conversations over the summer and into the fall, I believe, and he asked for help with his profile. He's done a lot of work with Alpha, not just for the New York office, but with Alpha, the organization, and he's always been there to say, hey, how can I help? Sure, let me help you get that done. But I respect that he also says, you know what, let me see what my time looks like so I know if I can commit to you. I love that about him, so that I know whether or not I can wait or if I need to find somebody else. Employed for a little bit with Alpha, so he's got a job with Alpha on his profile, and he's also been a volunteer, a long-standing volunteer with Alpha, and so you can see that as well. So what I did here is I went to the company page, and I clicked on over here how you're connected, and clicked on See All, and that See All will take you to the list of current employees at Alpha on LinkedIn. These are people who have Alpha in their profiles, and there's 188. Now, we obviously have more than staff on here. We have people who are volunteers. Migdalia is the Boston chapter president, and you can scroll through and see what other people are doing as well. But again, looking here and joining this community and becoming part of it, if you're an active volunteer, do this and become part, because your profile will be found more often. People will have a chance to get to know who you are, what you've done, be impressed with you, and reach out to you for what you need. Now, notice on the side, relationships and location. If you know you're going to be going to New York City and you want to find out who at Alpha is in New York, then filter the results by New York. And you can see, hey, I'm going to be going to New York, and here's all these people that are involved with Alpha. And there's Kevin's profile right there, and Jonathan right below it. He's our master tech, and actually handling the administration of the webinar for you this evening. So take a look at their profiles, and then there's all kinds of other things that we can show you on LinkedIn, but we're about out of time, so I want to see if we have any other profiles or questions. And again, join and engage with Alpha on LinkedIn at joinalpha.org. And you can connect and engage with the Women of Alpha on LinkedIn at joinwomenofalpha.org. That will take you right to that subgroup. Or go to the primary group, scroll down, and you'll be able to see the other subgroups as well. So do we have any final questions, David?
Lori, we've talked a good deal about LinkedIn, and we just sent a note to the audience about debuting our first Instagram advertisement of Alpha. Can you tell us a little bit more in terms of your thoughts on Twitter? What is the interplay between each? How are they understood by corporations and we as professionals and on a personal?
That's a great question, and I thank you for asking that. The cool thing I love about Instagram is that you can have an Instagram account, and when you are at an event and you're taking a picture and you post it to Instagram, it's going to go to the Twitter account that you have associated with it and the LinkedIn account, or pardon me, the Facebook account that you have associated with it. So that's your personal Facebook page, not profile, not your personal page or your professional page. But then you can share it from your profile to your page. But that way, Instagram, you don't have to use it all the time, but when you have events going on or you have things happening, even if it's board meetings or if you happen to be out around town doing something on behalf of Alpha, you can snap a picture and take one. So what you need to do to log into the Twitter account or to the Instagram account is to have access to the Twitter account of your Alpha chapter or the Facebook page of your Alpha chapter. And so thinking and remembering that every platform is different, Facebook is brilliant for community and for family and showing events and doing things and engaging, and that's a brilliant place to show and like and comment on the different things that are happening with Alpha. Now, the Alpha page on Facebook is facebook.com/alpha, and I haven't logged in yet, so I'll try and do that. And I might be wrong. So Alpha on Instagram is right here as well. Here is a meme of Charlie Why does successful entrepreneur take the role of CEO of Alpha, the Association of Latino Professionals for America? And he tells us why. And here's the quote: find out what makes you tick and then do what really makes you happy. And 612 people have reached this. About 27 or 28 people have liked it. And then there's some others. Here's Shakira quote. So at Shakira, it's the philosophy that expands our individual liberties and technology that sent us to the moon. And then we have some other postings from corporate partners and things like that. But what you'll see on the Facebook profile is engagement with the community, whether it be your local community or with your Alpha family. Of course, the events page is here. So if you have not yet gone to the events page to say you're going to be going to the convention, I encourage you to do this. And it'll take you to the tickets page, which is convention.alpha.org. The registration is now open. We were testing this week, so not broadcasting it loudly. And again, okay, the registration's open. Why didn't we tell everybody in social media? Well, we thought maybe there'd be a few kinks in the system to work out first. And instead of having somebody's first experience with Alpha be that they can't register as a member, or they can't get registered for convention, or they can't, we want to test things with people who know and love us and know that we're trying to make things better. And then we'll scale it more broadly to all the chapters and start telling them, okay, it's time to get involved, and then we'll go to the general public. And so that's how we are doing this. So here you can see I did a poll. We had 24 people like it, 2 people commented, and I think a couple people shared it as well. And then here's the volunteer position. So there's going to be a chapter contest coming out to create some content, marketing collateral around the convention. And chapters are going to get an opportunity to submit that content and earn points toward the second part of the contest. So the first one's going to be to show you how to create these things and what kinds of things to create. The second part of the contest is going to be creating those things again and posting them on your own pages and sharing them to this page, the Alpha Convention page, event page. And so we'll teach you how to use social media more regularly and more effectively through these kinds of things that we're doing. And of course, you've got my number and my email. I'm easy to find all over the internet. I don't know if you've Googled me. There's odd Lori Ruff in there. I'm not her. I'm just me. And feel free to reach out and let me know how I can help you. Let me just tell you really quickly about Twitter. That Twitter is the convention center that has 12,000 people in the room. You've gone to a conference and there are 12,000 people in the room, and you want to go out and meet people. Well, I didn't type it right. If you go out and you meet people, and all of your folks are together and tied up together in one unit, you might tell some people about you. But if you instead put a badge of honor on everybody, the Alpha Social team, for example, or everybody's wearing the same T-shirts, and you take your 100 people and you go out into the broader audience individually, you're going to reach a lot more people and generate a lot more buzz about who you are and what you're doing. So Twitter is a great place to broadcast, to share news, to put out press releases, to share great content, and to engage with people. So I met somebody in DC because when it started getting cold last year, I said, wow, hashtag winter's here, hashtag hot chocolate. And so that's kind of a fun way to get engagement on Twitter and be able to share what's going on and what's happening. So here's notifications and messages and discoveries. You can see what people are talking about and what people are doing. And you see that I've got the Women of Alpha branding everywhere right now. I'll be switching to convention here pretty shortly. But it's a great opportunity to go out and find those random overheard conversations that attract your attention. Find people who interest you and intrigue you and get to know them a little bit better. And to, of course, promote your events and the things that you're doing And again, hashtag Alpha on every single thing that you do for Alpha, because that elevates the community as a whole and allows us to network and find much more value together than we ever would individually or alone. Are there any other questions, David?
No, thank you. We don't have any questions at this time, Lori. We just want to thank you for doing this. I guess one question that I'd have is that, how do we bring others to the table with us? Apart from we want to connect with others, we want to provide value to others. How do we grow ourselves and bring people into, whether it be into Alpha or into our sphere of influence? Several times we're a manager, we're not quite an executive or we're a staff person. How do we bring people into our world? How do we influence them?
So that's a great question, and here you can see the books that we have in the Alpha Library, and these are pretty interesting, like the Women of Alpha on Thought Leadership. I'll have to sign in, and I'm already registered with LinkedIn, so that'll get me in. But sharing content from people that are of like mind and have a similar audience. So I like to look at who else is taking advantage of this audience, who else is going after the Women of Alpha audience, who are those people, what are they doing, what are they talking about, and how can I get involved in that conversation as well. So here's the Women of Alpha on Thought Leadership, and these are all the contributors to it. And then here's the book, Women of Alpha on Thought Leadership. You develop a relationship with sponsors through acts, through the things you do. So if I want to tweet that, I click tweet. It brings up the Twitter handle. I can change things around a little bit if I want to, but I don't. So I just tweet it, and I'm all done. And it's that easy. Do you want to close the tab? Yes. Lovely. So, it's really important that you look at these tools in a new way. A lot of people, I think, are uncomfortable around technology, and keep in mind, this is not about technology. This is about connecting with people on a very human level that allows you to escalate and elevate the work that you're doing. So if you kind of go to a new site, and take your hands away from the keyboard and look around the screen. For example, this has a thumbs up and a thumbs down, so I like that post, so I'm going to click it. And I'm going to have to tell Mitchell that the like button isn't working right now. But typically it would like the post. You saw me click the Twitter button. I know that that's the Twitter button. Why? Because it's always the Twitter button. So I know that if I click that, I'm going to share this post to Twitter. And then I'm not quite sure what the random aha button does, but hey, let me click that and find out what happens when I click this random aha button, if I can actually click it. I'm having technical issues with my fingers today. So
I think we thank you. I guess the question most of the participants are going to have is it's been so valuable today, and while we all love to go listen to the audio again, and we are members of Alpha, but you have a very deep experience in social media, and so there might be follow-up questions that we'd like to get in touch with you. Is there, should we connect on LinkedIn? Is there an email that we could send you?
That's a great question, David. Let's do it this way. Why don't, since you're in the same chapter, talk about this and what each of you learned and what you heard and what you didn't hear, because like you said, it's just been audio and a little bit of visual so far, and then talk together and then ask questions together and send those to me. And what I'll do is I'll answer them in writing, and I'll put them on my LinkedIn articles that I post out, and I will tag the Alpha Northwest Arkansas chapter to help them get more exposure.
Okay. Well,
And then-
thank you so much, Lori. We appreciate it. And with that, we're just about 15 minutes left. It doesn't look like we have any additional questions, and just want to appreciate you for your time this evening, and Jonathan for providing us the tech services in the background.
Thank you, Jonathan. And here's your alpha.tv. We'll take you to the YouTube channel, and this is where you will find this webinar after the recording's been put up pretty quickly, either tonight or tomorrow. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.